I had long searched for a way to identify reversal points with a very high success rate. I marked everywhere on the chart where I saw a reversal, and to my surprise, the double pattern was the most common. It played out almost every time that a reversal in price action happened. Hey there, my name is Cletous Ngoma, the co-founder, chairman and coach at Money Downloaders. Today, we are going to discuss the anatomy of the double pattern and how they help us in our strategy. If you are new here, please don't forget to subscribe and turn the post notification bell on. If you are a returning subscriber, a big shout out to you. Keep sharing my videos with friends and family. With that being said, let us break down what this video is going to cover. Number 1, we are going to discuss the anatomy of the double pattern together with all its variations. Number 2, we will touch a little bit on why every time that this pattern presents, it is a good indication that price is likely going to reverse. I'm not actually going to cover entries and exits that much. Allow me to save that at least for module 4. But before we start, I would like you to appreciate the fact that this presentation was made purely for educational purposes. No representation is being made that any account whatsoever is likely going to achieve any profit or loss similar to what I will show you here. Trading forex online comes with a lot of risk and may not be suitable for all investors. Okay, so let us discuss the real reason behind why the double pattern is a good sign that the market is likely going to reverse in the future. We can all agree that a double bottom pattern is characterized of two peaks roughly approaching the same level. If I am to explain a little bit further on my point using the double bottom pattern, when we get this first approach, which is also the first peak, and price pulls back, the market is creating a level of support. Now, when we then see the market coming back to roughly the same point in the second peak and fail to break the level of support that was created following the first peak, it can only mean that this level of support is strong enough such that the second approach even failed to take it out. This makes this zone a good place to buy the market from that support level created. The structure that will be left will look like a double bottom like this. The opposite is also true for a double top pattern. When the market first approach with the first peak, it's creating, in this case, a level of resistance. Now, the failure again of the second peak to take out the previous level of resistance that was set following the first peak also shows us that this level of resistance is strong enough and alternately becomes a good place to sell. Identifying and predicting with a high accuracy can become overwhelming at first, but with a lot of practice it will become even easier with time. However, if you think that you need special coaching in catching this type of reversal pattern together with all its variations with high accuracy, sign up for my one-on-one coaching by going to moneydownloaders.com/coaching. Now, we have 3 most common variations of the double bottom pattern. Don't worry, I'm going to explain why each of the variation looks the way it looks like. The first and easiest to identify is the one that the first and second peak are roughly on the same level, like this. This variation shows us that the level of support or resistance set following the first peak is strong enough that even the second peak could not even exceed it. It is due to this retest by the second peak of the previous level of support or resistance that makes the zone even stronger. How about we head over to my MetaTrader platform and try to identify at least 4 double bottoms specifically for this variation, 2 being double tops and the other 2 double bottoms. Alright, so let us try to identify that variation, right? This variation we were talking of. Alright, so right here we can already see that these 2 peaks are roughly on the same level for this double top pattern. This is the double top pattern I am talking of. We get our first peak and then our second peak, and we can all see that they are roughly on the same level. We can also see that we have got a double bottom pattern, right, and they are roughly on the same level if I am not mistaken. Let me try to see that. And yes, they are also roughly on the same level, right? Maybe if we are to go to V25, maybe someone might say it only happens on a V10, right? So let us maybe try with V25, right? Alright, we can even see that we've got a double top pattern again right here, with this and this roughly being on the same level, right? This and this peak roughly on the same level, and we actually get a reversal. We can even see that we have got a double bottom pattern right here, right? Let me first put a line, right? We can even see that we have got another double bottom pattern of this variation, right? We can see that they are roughly on the same level, this being your first peak and this being your second peak, and we actually get a reversal to the what? To the upside. The second variation is the second peak slightly failing to reach the level of the first peak, like this. The second peak should be far away from the first in a 10 pip range. What I mean by that is that if we are to measure from the tip of the first to the tip of the second peak, that distance should not be more than 10 pips. Now, this type of variation tells us that the previous level of support or resistance set following the first peak is even stronger, that the second peak could not come near it. How about we head over to my MetaTrader platform and try to identify at least 4 double bottoms specifically for this variation, 2 double tops and again 2 double bottoms. Alright, so this is what I was talking about. Here we can see that this first peak and this second peak, they are not on the same level. This first peak is slightly above this second peak. Now this is for a double top. We can even see another double top right here, where we also get this first peak being slightly above the level of the second peak. We can also see here where we also see that the first peak again is slightly above the level of the second peak. Even for a double bottom, right, we can even see right here that the level of the second peak is slightly above the level of the first peak. All right, the third and last variation of the double pattern looks like this. We can see that we have got a second peak which is slightly exceeding the level of the first, but this doesn't mean that the level of resistance or support that was previously set by the first peak is already invalidated. No, rather it shows us that yes, the previous level of support or resistance set following the first peak, even though the second peak was able to slightly penetrate it, it still held and price failed to take it out, which also shows that this is a strong support or resistance and a good place to buy and sell respectively. Again, we are also going to go to my MetaTrader and try to identify this variation of the double bottom and double top pattern. Now right here we can all see that the level of the second peak is slightly above the level of the first. If we are saying that this is our first peak and then this is our second peak, if I'm to draw a straight line right there, right, we can all see that this second peak is slightly above the level of the first, and then we get our reversal. All right, again right here, right, if I'm to draw another straight line, right, we can see that this second peak is slightly above this, and then we get our reversal. Did you know about any of these variations of the double pattern already, or this video was really an eye-opener for you? Let me know in the comment section below. Until then, I will see you in the next lesson.